Here's the big picture. Again, if you were just to look at them, and you will in the model in a minute, just comparing the two, this is far more active today as far as more people being involved and lightning and all that jazz than tomorrow should be. But of course, it's a tropical system. We don't see these very often, so we really keep an eye on how this is going to play out because ultimately nobody knows exactly how it's going to go, but we have a pretty good idea. All right, so here's the radar shot. We're looking at Jones, Baldwin, thunderstorms, not severe. This one a little bit earlier in Washington County was severe. That one was allowed to expire before the original 5 o'clock expiration time. You go over in some of our western counties, seeing a few storms, and then a little thicker once you get on down into the southern half here, and all of this is trying to float a little bit toward the north. So really, if you look at it, it's not directly associated with Idalia. There's probably getting some lift on the outside edge of all this, getting these storms kind of up and running toward the north here. But as we go farther south, this is where the actual storm is out here. So center of circulation out over the Gulf. Again, bathwater, 85, 90 degree water out here. Perfect fuel for this thing to keep running and growing. Actually, it is now a Category 2 storm, as I mentioned a moment ago, with maximum sustained winds at now 100 miles per hour. Later tonight, maybe overnight, somewhere in there, we'll see how it goes. May go ahead and jump on up to a Cat 3, and then at least at this point, it is to make landfall as we go through tomorrow morning, early part of the day, right there in the Big Bend of Florida, as maybe a Cat 3. And then you can see still a tropical storm even as we get on through the weekend out in the Atlantic. Then we'll figure out what happens after that. But as far as we're concerned, again, notice this is kind of the variation through the cone here. And notice it's a narrow cone. Usually when there's a lot of like, kind of not sure, you'll see a wider cone from the National Hurricane Center. A lot of, agreement here with the models that it's going to go somewhere between us and Jacksonville, say. So maybe not exactly along our coast, but somewhere in southeast Georgia. And this is a look at future view showing tonight's stuff, and then you'll see Idalia come up at the bottom of your screen. All right, so you see the thunderstorms we have now. They will eventually fizzle later on tonight, but we have a long way to go, and hopefully you'll catch some good rain out of this. Now we head into tomorrow morning. You can see the storm coming up. Keep an eye on our southeastern counties. Maybe a little bit of a throwback here with a couple of showers, but keep in mind, we're on the clean side of the storm here. I talk about the dirty side of the storm. If this storm were over here, then we'd have the outer bands, tornado warnings, that kind of stuff possible. We are on the drier side or the clean side of the storm. All this is where that problem would be. So as it comes up, sometimes you'll see a really sharp cutoff of where it's raining and then just where it stops. So we'll see how it goes, but it may be kind of the farther south. I know it's going to be the farther south and east you go, the better chance of rain and wind. You can see as we go through tomorrow afternoon, starting to thread the needle between us and Savannah here. And then as we get on into tomorrow night, we're done. And then it makes its way on up into the Carolinas and gone just like that. All right, so here's the same model, but looking at it just focusing on the storm. So if you have friends and family in Florida, I went ahead and put Horseshoe Beach on there as kind of a spot where this could make some landfall. And then you can see it rolling up through southeast Georgia, same thing I just showed you there. As far as wind is concerned, mainly the farther south and east you go. 35, 40 mile per hour winds, not that bad. I mean, we can see that on a sunny day without even thunderstorms. So once you get into the 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, which is probably going to be in here, that's a different kind of story. As we go through tomorrow night, you can see that lifting. And most of the rain is also going to be in that same kind of corridor there. As you can see, the farther south and east you go. So the takeaway is this. We have thunderstorms tonight, which are kind of the summertime thing. A lot of folks involved in that. Tomorrow, it's mainly the farther south and east you live with the wind and rain threat. Any move back toward this way, it would put more folks kind of involved in it. Otherwise, it is going to be our southeastern counties, guys.
Thank you, Ben. If you see damage from Idalia, we want to take a moment to remind you to send us photos and videos only when it's safe to do so. Your safety is priority. But if you have trees down or see damage in your area, share them with us. You can text them to the number on your screen, 478-752-1309, or upload them through the Near Me app on our app.